Hey, hey, ho, ho. It's Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the show. Man, if I'd have been careful, I could have rhymed that.
Yeah, you could have.
It's just Parlays, everybody, with me. I'm your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at WHINERS.com. And I am joined, as always, by this handsome young fella here. To the right on your radio dial, it is Chris King. What's up?
Good to see you clarified by putting your name in, because otherwise people will be like, wow, we have a new host, me?
Yes, that's right. That's right. It's just...
Where do we get me from?
6 days, Chris. 6 days until this beautiful live show will be available exclusively at the Max Wagers Network on YouTube. So get yourself over there. Get subscribed. Sure, you can still subscribe to the Winners and Whiners channel. There's going to be a lot of great content there. Daily videos with picks from me and Scott and a whole bunch of new guys coming. But if you want to get the live content, you want to get the network stuff, you got to get over to Max Wagers Network. That's what I'm telling you.
Is that why we're getting shuffled over to there? Because they're putting all the new guys on the W&W network?
Yes, that's it. Hey, it's speaking of making the big move, it's the guy that's facilitating the big move. It's Jim Williams right there in the comment section. He says this is his favorite show, makes him laugh, cry, and go through all the emotions. Plus, I learned to be better at betting on sports. Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. We appreciate it. That's kind of our goal. I don't know about the cry part, although if you've been backing a couple of my picks lately, yeah, there's some tears involved. Actually, I'm two in a row, buddy. That's a big winning streak for me these days. So I totally had the Boston LA game handicapped wrong, except for the winner. Everything else I got wrong. They did not maul Syndergaard. They did not score a ton of runs, but Michael Walker was really, really good. A shutout. The rare 9 innings, no runs, 3 hits, 1 walk. So.
Yeah, I was surprised the game was that low scoring, but it just goes to show you that the Angels have some serious issues right now. And, you know, if they pitch well, they don't hit. And if they hit well, they don't pitch. Other than that, they're great.
Doing great. Kevin
can't win on the road, can't win at home. Maybe they can get a neutral site game against somebody.
Kevin gets the big prize today. He's the first one to hit the like button. So thanks,
Kevin. Come on down. You're the next contestant on Scott will find something to not give you.
Thanks, buddy. That's quite a setup there. James S. in the house. Come back, Jim, please. James S. Not a fan of Scott, apparently. Okay.
Scott's been being heckled from the cheap seats.
I'm like Nebraska. I ain't for everybody. I totally understand that.
Is that Bob Devaney, Nebraska, or Tom Osborne, Nebraska, or Scott Frost, Nebraska?
Dude, that's their slogan. That's their state. That's their tourist slogan. Nebraska, we're not for everybody. I swear to God.
I drove through Nebraska once. It was not very exciting.
Spent 3 hours in Nebraska one week.
That's like I spent a month in Vermont one weekend.
Very nice. Ryan Page is back from his hiatus. The Warriors let down. Yep, ready for some baseball locks for tonight. Very good. AJ is my favorite. Morlow in the house. Great day yesterday. Yeah, cool. Tim Earl. Hey, Tim. Man, I'm glad you're here. Do you want to do the show with Scott and I with all the super regionals getting started? You want to talk a little college baseball? I thought about that about 10 minutes ago as I was getting ready for this show. I'm like, we should have Tim Earl on. So, Be Happy says hi. Hey, what's up, Be Happy? Andrews is putting his 10-1 winners and Whiners record on with England plus 235. Andrew has been hot. That's absolutely correct. James says all the love. Well, all the love that's not for Jim. But no, dude, Jim's a pro. It's hard.
You get the leftovers.
You know, I had gigantic shoes to fill. So no question about it. I love Jim. Man. I love having him on the show too. Michael says he wants you guys daily when I don't have to work 12-hour shifts. I typically don't like to put in my picks until I hear what you guys have to say. Well, very good. This gentleman right here has made some very good picks lately. Very good picks indeed. Chris, speaking of that, how did your yesterday go?
Well, Houston sucked. But like I said when we were talking last night, when we threw the Altuve prop out there for the hell of it, and you were talking about, staying away from home run props, and what happened in the bottom of the first.
It was a beautiful thing. I spent about 5 minutes talking about why the odds and the math didn't make sense. Of course, first at bat, boom, home run. You could just lock that in the fucking books. I spent all of yesterday's video talking about Syndergaard and his secondary stats and how bad a season he was actually having. He goes out and pitches. Pretty well. Gave up one run in 5 innings. I mean, much better than I anticipated. I will wear the yoke on that one. So, yeah. With his Tim says, yeah, he'd do it. Cool, very good. With all of his non-biased ECU thoughts, very good. Tim,
Houston screwed a lot of people yesterday. Unknown. Christian Javier didn't pitch well. I don't know if he was getting squeezed in the strike zone or what, but that and Houston left, to quote Harry Doyle from Major League 2, Serrano's left a small village on the base pass tonight.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Thank you, Jim. I don't believe that for a second, but I appreciate your kind words. Tim, let me know if you need the link, or if you can bust your way in. I don't know what access you have. So.
I'm pretty sure that anyone that's a host can bust their way into any other one.
Yeah, I think that's true too. I just Rachel has trouble doing it. I have to drop him the link. So hey, enough.
Well,
enough inside
Rachel's
baseball.
technologically deficient.
I'll tell you what the frustrating game for me was last night. It was the stupid Royals game. Because I had the over.
Because of the 2-hour rain delay?
Well, not that so much. Well, although it wasn't, the rain was weird last night. There wasn't really a sustained rain. It was just annoying enough to keep them off the field. But no, I'm talking about the fact that I had the over. So, and we talked about that, about how much of a contribution we were going to be able to get out of the Royals. And for the first part of the game, they were awful. But they spent the last 2 or 3 innings just hitting the shit out of the ball right at people. It was really frustrating. Toronto has 2 guys on base. Drives it into left field, hooks a little bit foul. They drove a couple to the warning track, to the wall. Yeah, did you watch any of that game?
I saw part of it because I know it didn't start till quarter after 10,
something like that. Yeah.
But yeah, I watched part of the game. I saw Kansas City. They did nothing early, like you said. They made Stripling look like a Cy Young winner,
like he was still with the Dodgers. Yeah. Just.
But I did say to take the under in that one.
Did you take the under in that one?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were on the over. Okay, well, good call. I had the over as a premium, so nice.
Because, like you said, you weren't sure what to get from Kansas City. You said it could be, or Toronto could get 7 or 8, and I said, yeah, but Kansas City could put up nothing.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, 2 or less, a real possibility, and they should have been on about 2. The way they hit the ball, I think they hit the ball good enough to score 2 runs. Okay. Cool, Timmy. How about quarter after? We'll see if we can get all our shit done and bust you in at quarter after. Excellent. Thanks, buddy. We're gonna talk a little. I did play the under on the Arkansas Oklahoma State game yesterday. I couldn't resist. It went to 18.5, Chris. I couldn't resist.
Well, I mean, you saw what Oklahoma State did against Missouri State in that game. They were down 12-0, and then what was the final, like 28-15 or something like that?
Yeah. We took 29-15. Yeah, 44 was the total. That's the only reason I remember that. Yeah, today, if you're available, buddy. Lane Elliott in the house. Got the Yankees, Toronto, Atlanta -1.5. First 2 of those I like. Who's Atlanta?
Atlanta's got Oakland. Kyle Wright against Cole Irvin.
Okay. Well, Kyle Wright looks like he's back on the train a little bit. Are we supposed to officially believe Kyle Wright is really good now?
I believe more in Kyle Wright than I do in Charlie Morton, Jethro Tull, or Max Fried.
Do you really?
That's a
pretty bold statement.
Morton's looked pretty bad.
He's psycho, man. He's psycho. Oh, dude, Michael, yeah, fucking Hunter Green. I put that in our group text. I think I put Hunter fucking Green was just the text.
Yeah, and then you said, "Are you kidding me?"
That's right. That's right. I said, "Are you shitting me?" Yeah, I had the over in that game too, and I think, the odds say I got bailed out, but I wouldn't have mind seeing the last 2 innings there against the bullpen to see if we could get 3 more runs.
Yeah, if you asked Reichel, Reichel said that the Diamondbacks were primed for a big 8th, so blame Reichel.
Well, I mean, yeah, against the Cincinnati bullpen, sure, that's a distinct possibility. So, yeah, I kind of had mixed emotions, but I always bitch when I get, because I usually have like the over and it's already gone over and then you get screwed by the rain. So I finally got, quote unquote, helped by the rain, probably.
As Creedence Clearwater Revival said, have you ever seen rain?
I have been seeing it for the last 2 days here, man. It's like living in Colorado or Florida where everything just gears up in the afternoon. It's beautiful during the day. and then it just cranks up as the sun starts to go down. So we got to.
I mean, when I was in Arizona, I always remember, you'd look outside, you'd have monsoons for about 15 minutes, and then the rain would stop, and then 10 minutes later, you had steam coming off the sidewalks.
James S. says, when are you guys going to start talking about college football? I got my first game for my parlay Thursday night, West Virginia versus Penn State, taking West Virginia plus the 6. Scott and I will probably start talking about it, late July, early August. There's just, we're not probably going to go through recruiting stuff. As hockey and basketball go away and we feel some content, we'll probably start taking some preview looks at the NFL and college football as well. Now, Chris, it's going to be a little more difficult for this show because this is pretty much all about what parlays are we playing today, right?
Right, but I mean, like you said, as stuff goes away, you're gonna have to try and come up with ways to improvise, and
right.
I have no problem talking about other stuff if people have questions and things like that, as long as it doesn't, cut out what we're here to do.
Yeah, well, that's you've got me to keep us on track, so that's scary right there in and of itself, because I'm the king of these. Oh, look, squirrel. So don't forget
gum wrapper.
Don't forget to like. I did talk about making sure you get subscribed to the Max Wagers Network, which is worth saying again. Get your ass over there, hit that subscribe button. Don't miss a minute of all the exciting content. Great content like Midday Money with Sean Higgs at noon. 1 o'clock is Allie Burns giving you Morning Wood. 2 o'clock, it's these handsome fellas right here. I roll it on over to Studio B at 3 with Scott Reichel. Sean Miller is taking a look at all the life on the pitch from around the world at 4 p.m. and at 5 p.m. It's the one and only Timero, along with his brother Nick and Detroit Lenny, giving you your game time decision. So get over there, check it out. Still got the great deal at Caesars going on. Tick, tick, tick. I don't know how long it's going to last.
Apparently this deal's never going to go away.
I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop talking. They always say you want to create a sense of urgency. And every day I say, man, it ain't going to last long. And then a month later, I'm still saying it. So I know the reason they still have it is they've been having a lot of success with it, and that's why they're keeping it. So if you haven't done it, get over there to Caesars. $1,100 bet. You know the drill by now. $1,100 guaranteed first bet. If you win, the money is yours to keep and spend as you delight. But if you lose, Caesars will make it good up to $1,100. There's a lot of big favorites in the MLB tonight. Just crying out for those 3-team money line parlays that'll pay you 3-2, stuff like that. So if this is the day, get your ass over to Caesars. Make sure you use the code ATSWINCZR. That code and the link to the whole event is available in the description for today's video. If you want more picks from this Goomba over here or myself, our premium plays, our very best plays for the day, are available. We have a link to each of those in the show description. So if you're looking for more action, get over there and check out our premium stuff. So,
yes, as the late Billy Red Lyons would say, don't you dare miss it.
Rye Capes says Max Wagers Network has you covered all day, every day. That's right, buddy. That's right, because we're doing it Monday through Friday. On Saturday, you can download our NASCAR show with me, Chris, and Scott, and the aforementioned Rye Cape, a fine NASCAR handicapper in his own right. Classing up the joint is what he does when he starts. When he comes in, he's like, that's the guy that knows about all the tracks, and we educate ourselves week by week. We're probably a little better than average at NASCAR at this point, but Rye is actually very good. So,
yeah, we're going to Sonoma this week.
King definitely needs a handler. Absolutely, everybody needs a handler, man. Everybody needs a handler.
I have a handler. It's called my wife.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, with that being said, we talked about the games today. We do have a lot more games, of course, and some pretty wide spreads. Christopher?
Tell me about it.
Well, I think we're going to tell everybody about it. So let's get to it, buddy. What do we got for today?
Well, guess what? I'm going to go right back where we were yesterday. Only this time I expect a better result than we got. Because I'm taking the Astros with Justin Verlander. I know Flexen beat him a couple weeks ago. You know what they say about lightning? It normally doesn't strike in the same place twice.
Lightning crashes and an old mother cries. Is that it?
Yeah, that too.
Say what you want about Chris King, folks. He's not a quitter. He's going to play the Astros till he wins. It's like it's like those claw machines
Well, I
when you're a
blame you
kid.
because you were on the Astros yesterday, and that's why they lost.
Oh, that sounds like me.
And in case you missed it, where he said that was going to happen, tune in to yesterday's show and watch Scott talk about how if the Astros lose, you've got a clear problem right here, and it's the person right above me on the screen right now.
Sure. I'll take the blame for the Astros underachieving for a game. Sure, that's all me.
But no, Flexen hasn't been that good this year. I know he's probably better than what he's shown.
What was that one game he was really good? Who was he pitching against then? I can't remember.
Yeah, he was pitching against your mom. But no, if you look Flexen's numbers, he's only averaging a little over 5 1/3 to start. His FIP is actually worse than his ERA. It's 4.84. He's walking about 3 guys per 9 innings, so he's not missing a ton of bats. And Houston, for as badly as they played yesterday, I know Altuve got thrown out at the plate. They left a bunch of other guys on. We talked about Robbie Ray giving up homers, and that's what he did. Flexen's given up 9 himself this season.
Yep.
And 55 1/3. While he's come off back-to-back starts where he didn't allow one, including that start against Houston on May 27th. In his 4 starts prior to that, he gave up 7 homers.
Okay.
He didn't look great against Baltimore, and that was a problem we talked about yesterday too, because Ray didn't look good against Baltimore either. If you don't look good against Baltimore, you probably have some issues.
It's not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Baltimore's not very good. And see, Michael said that you absolutely did say that about Houston yesterday.
What did I say?
That since you were backing them, they were going to lose.
Oh,
so
100%. Yes, absolutely. It looked like a game where everything set up in favor of the Astros. No way they could compete. No way Seattle would have a chance. So I said, yeah, absolutely. That's because I'm on them. Houston is destined to fail.
But Houston tends to bounce back from bad games like that. They're 6-1 in their last 7 after giving up at least 5 runs in their last game. They're 8-2 in their last 10 when their opponent scored 5 or more their last time out.
So wait. Before, let's just not gloss over it. So explain to me how that helps. In other words, what does that say about a team if they're 6-1 after allowing 5 runs or more? So does that mean their bullpen is reset?
Yeah, because I think they didn't have to use as many good names yesterday.
So you're saying the bullpen is fresher because maybe the starter blew up early and they put the B squad in there. So you've still got
let me see who they threw yesterday, because I watched part of it and then I just got aggravated.
Well, that's what I like to do, because you throw a lot of stats out there, and I always want to talk about why they're relevant. I want to give everybody out there watching and listening an idea about why it matters if they're 6-1 after giving up 5, because that's one of the toughest things to do as a handicapper, is separating the white noise from the shit that matters, because especially in baseball, because you can just inundate yourself with stats. So
yeah, the biggest name that they threw yesterday was probably Stanek, and he threw 16 pitches.
Okay.
I mean, Hector Neris threw 15, but he could have gotten out of the 9th inning had he not hit a guy with 2 outs.
Okay. All right.
Then, they threw Parker Mushinski for 21 pitches. He hadn't pitched, in the 4 days prior. Seth Martinez threw 18. Abreu threw 11. Those aren't guys that you look at for the guys that you're looking to shut guys down in a game.
Okay. All right.
And the Mariners, they tend to follow up big offensive performances by putting up duds. I mean, they're 3-13 in their last 16 after scoring 5 runs or more.
That's weird. That's a stat that just doesn't seem to make sense to me. It seems
there's no continuity for the Mariners. I mean, you look at that lineup with all the guys that are missing and the fact that they're hitting a collective,
So what that stat really does is just show the inconsistency of this team, that they don't go on big runs, that they don't put up 42 runs in 5 games, that kind of thing.
Right, and you're looking at a Mariners team coming in to today. They're hitting 236.
Okay.
An OBP of 319. And they're facing Verlander. We know Verlander has pitched very well this season.
Okay.
And, you're not facing the scrub patrol here. It's not like you're facing Oakland or the back end of the White Sox rotation. Speaking of, congratulations to Dallas Keuchel getting picked up by the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Shows how desperate Arizona is for pitching.
Well, my money was on the Royals, but I guess they just couldn't quite get there.
I was going to go with the Mets, but
flexing is like that girl that you went out with for a couple of years. Maybe you got engaged and then it got broken off, and then like you see her like 2 or 3 years later, and she's got like 6 kids, and she's just miserable. Her husband's a drunk, and that's the way I feel. Kind of guilty because flexing was so good to us last year. We were in love with flexing. The stars aligned. It was just a beautiful thing. But man, that dude's gotten fat and had a bunch of kids this year because he is not a profitable pitcher at all. Of course, we faded him against Verlander, and he jumped up and had his, arguably his best performance of the season. But,
yeah, and if you're to your point, he only gave up 19 homers in 179 2/3 innings last year.
Yeah,
he's given up 9 and 55 in a third.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. So here's the deal. I know there's a lot of people out there that really want to back Houston. I'm not gonna offer an opinion on this play. So I'm gonna leave the field wide open. I'm not even gonna give you a lean. Not even gonna give you nothing. So nobody fucking puts this on me when you go back.
You put it on yourself yesterday.
Okay. No, I told you what was gonna happen, and if you didn't back that, that's not on me. I told you if I fucking lay it out and say I like this team, and because I do, they'll probably lose.
Yeah, but you liked the Blue Jays yesterday, and they won.
It's the Royals, dude. There's a lot of difference between the Mariners and the Royals. The Mariners are close to a competitive team most games. The Royals are not. They are only competitive when I fade them.
There you go, folks. So the Royals suck.
So take the Astros here, says Chris. You almost have to.
Speaking of the Royals sucking, that dovetails nicely into our next.
I was just going to say, Chris, don't you almost have to take the money line, the run line there for any value?
Yeah, you do.
At 115. Okay. All right, bring it on, buddy. I can take it.
The Royals suck.
More rain in the area tonight, by the way. Probably hold off for the game, so we couldn't get
now.
That lucky.
I put up 2 money lines up there because like Scott said, there's not a ton of value on the run or on the money line. So with the run line minus 1.5 is minus 130. If you think the game's going to end up like last night, you can get plus money at minus 2.5. Scott, do you have any faith in Brad Keller?
Would it be a backhanded compliment if I say I have more faith in Brad Keller than the average starter for the Royals?
Sure.
Does that mean anything? No, I really, if this game would have been a month ago, I'd have probably backed Brad Keller more. The wheels, while they haven't quite come off for BK,
they're wobbling.
They've certainly started to. If you're behind them on the highway, you're noticing a little wobble on that left rear tire for sure. I know you're looking at it, and he has been not good over the last month, basically.
He doesn't miss any bats.
No, that's his thing. He's not a strikeout guy, and when guys that pitch to contact give up a lot of hard contact, it doesn't go well, and that's exactly what's happened for Keller. Is he's lost. Royals have lost his last 5 starts. Again, I said it yesterday. It is impossible to get behind the Royals right now. That is a team with external turmoil and internal turmoil as well. They're not playing well as a team, and there's shit going on behind the scenes. It's not.
But to your point about him not being a strikeout guy, he averaged 8.1 strikeouts per 9 last year. He's down to 4.9.
Well, yeah. So,
I mean, what's going on? Has he lost velocity? Is he not throwing?
I have to be honest. I have not done the baseball savant stat tracker deep dive into his numbers to see about spin rate and how.
I mean, have you seen any of his outings? Because I mean, I admittedly haven't seen much of him this year.
I've watched him. His velo seems to be down. I mean, not appreciably, maybe 2 or less. So a little bit of difference, but it's more. Strikeout's more about movement than anything else, and that's what I can't tell if he's not getting any movement off of his 4-seamer, if his off-speed pitches aren't biting the way they should. I don't really know. There's so many problems on this team, and I just haven't frustrated myself to do deep dives into why the Royals pitchers suck. It's enough for me to know that they suck. So sorry, buddy.
And meanwhile, he's facing a guy that doesn't suck. Alek Manoah's been on a roll. We talked about him last week against the White Sox in that game where we thought it was going to stay under the total, only for the Blue Jays to win 8-3. Manoah 6-1, an ERA of 1.98, a WHIP of Porsche 911, 10 walks, 57 strikeouts, and 63 2/3 innings. And what would you say about the Royals for their propensity to whiff? Are they a middle of the road team?
No, they actually strike out less than normal. They're probably top 5 in strikeouts.
But they probably lead the league in weak grounders to second?
Yes, because they don't walk. They are a bizarre team. They don't strike out, they don't walk, but they hit like 220 as a team. So everything they hit is poor. That's the Royals, man.
Let's see. Yeah, I see your point. Salvador Perez, 6 walks and 50 strikeouts.
Yeah, no, you can't. And that's not really an outlier for Sal. He's
50 strikeouts or the 6 walks?
Yes. He's
okay.
He's a guy. I would be surprised if he's ever had 25 walks.
I think we talked about this once before.
Anecdotally, maybe he's up in the 30s somewhere, and I'm surprised. But
career high 4 walks for Salvador Perez. He had 28 last season.
28. There you go. All right, so color me surprised. No, we don't have to spend a lot of time on this. Manoah's been very good. He, like they say about me, Chris, he goes deep. And he's only once has he failed to complete 6 innings this season, and that was when he went 5 and still gave up just 2 earned runs against the Guardians. So
you're saying Manoah is the reverse Blake Snell?
Yes, he is. So
speaking of, we talked about Blake Snell yesterday. He lasted just 4 innings in a game the Mets won going away.
If you've got an opportunity to bet Manoah full game, complete game, that's not a bad play, because if a guy goes 6 or 7 against normal teams, you can add an inning to that for the Royals minimum. They'll swing early in the counts. They don't take walks. They don't work counts. They very rarely put a opposing pitcher's pitch count in jeopardy. So
are you saying their walks are basically by accident?
Oh yeah. Benintendi will walk. Santana will walk.
Santana, I noticed, leads the team in walks. He's got 24.
That's really about it. That's the only reason his on base percentage is over 200. Probably is because he walks.
Yeah, it's 291.
Oh shit.
Which sadly is 5th among the guys that have actually played enough games to be considered a starter.
There you go. Hey, we got real teams to talk about. Fuck these guys. Take the Royals. Lay 2.5. Lay 6.5. I don't give a shit. Fuck them.
Now you're sounding more like Harry Doyle every day. Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
Jack Daniels is my bourbon of choice. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we got real teams to talk about. So.
All right, so you ready to move on to the hockey game then?
I'm ready to move on to the Chiefs season. That's what I'm ready to move on for.
I thought you were going to say K-State.
Sure. Okay.
Well, I wasn't going to say Kansas because
nobody
watches Kansas football.
No Kansas football. How about some hockey?
Unless you're betting against them, then you know.
They had a good season against the number last year. Fucking Jayhawks. Anyway.
Yeah, how about some hockey? We got the Lightning and the Rangers. It's game 4. The Rangers lead the series 2-1. But Tampa Bay, they've got some momentum now. They won 3-2 on Sunday, scoring the winning goal with 42 seconds left in regulation off the stick of Andres Palat. We're still going to see the same guys we've seen in net all series long. It's going to be Vasilevsky against Shesterkin. What do you think, Scott? Do the Lightning have momentum? Are the Rangers going to turn it around? Can the Rangers go home happy if this series is 2-2 after leading 2-0?
No, they will not. They will not be happy if they go down. To 2. Well, if they end up letting them tie at 2-2. I've been. I've backed Tampa Bay every game in this series.
Right.
So, but this Rangers defense is still just almost non-existent. They're just letting Igor get pummeled back there, and I have to think at some point, that's going to matter, right, Chris?
I mean, you look at Game 3. He faced 51.
His internet went again? There you go, everybody. So, funny story, before the show started, when Chris popped into the studio, he's like, oh, man, I'm going to have to reboot. So we've already done this once. Now, I don't know if this is an internet problem or if this is a slideshow problem. I don't know. So, yeah, let's talk. Oh, here's the text. Let's read it together, shall we? Blue screen again. It means it's a computer problem. Jesus. I'm sure it's beautiful where Chris lives, but apparently the internet is a couple of hamsters and a monkey in a vest that are working on it right now. So not ideal at all. But as far as this Tampa Bay series goes, and now the slide went away, of course. Tampa Bay laying the 170. I get it. They've been the favorites in every game so far this season, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I'd be curious to see. Let me go while we're waiting on Chris here. Let me go and check in with the comment section because usually I'm widescreen here. He broke his curse and you will too. Thanks, Super Sly. Lost a few shekels on the game yesterday. All good. Very good. League average is 240 right now, and that is, and I'm not surprised. That is it, but it's just sad, is what that is. Thanks, Andrew. Very good. There he is. He's back. You know him. You love him. It's Chris King. And that was.
I swear to God, I'm turning Windows update off because every time it does an update, it crashes something.
Or fucking get Bill Gates on the phone.
Didn't have a problem until the other day.
Look, you fuck. What are you putting out such a shitty product for? You need to fix this, and I'm talking about right now.
But like we were talking about before I got cut off there, yeah, Chesterkin faced 52 shots the other day. You're not going to win games consistently where your goaltender's got to make that many saves.
You can't. You just can't. You've got to fucking play some defense at some point.
And I think an interesting stat to look at too here, Scott, is in his career, which is in Chesterkin's case of this season in the playoffs, he's 2-5 on the road. His goals against is 345. His save percentage is down to 904. So he's having a ton of success at home, but he's not winning on the road. I mean, the two games he won on the road in the playoffs were Game 6 against the Penguins, which they had to go home, and then Game 7 against the Rangers or against the Hurricanes to get here. Every other thing he's lost. He got blown out. There's one game he didn't get a decision. Was the Game 1 when he gave up 4 goals on 15 shots in Game 3 against the Penguins.
Right.
I mean, but when you see your save percentage is down to 904 on the road, and you compare that to he's got an 8-2 mark at home with a goals against of 213 and a save percentage of 944, you're talking about a 4% drop in your save percentage in that just from playing on the road in the playoffs. And you're facing a guy in Vasilevsky that's had a ton of success playing at the Amalie Arena in his career. In the playoffs, he's 30-18 with a 235 goals against, a 920 save percentage and 5 shutouts. It's a pretty good set of numbers there.
You know what we didn't talk about? We didn't talk about the streak ending the other night.
That's true. Well, that's because the game was Friday, so we weren't here Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, good point. But, you know, I'm so tempted because it just appears that the Rangers, they're not reading any of this shit about the stats and everything. But the home and away thing and the lack of defense, I can't get away from it, Chris. I think I'm just going to hold my nose and play Lightning and Reg and be done with it.
I agree. I mean, like I said, the Rangers 2-6 in their 8 playoff games on the road this season.
Yep, that's exactly right. So,
and Tim Earl said the Lightning in 6. So hey, Tim's on board. So if they lose, it's Tim's fault.
Got to pedal fast, boys. Got to pedal fast, Timmy. You put yourself in a bit of a hole there, my friend. All right.
Andrew said the line for saves on Chesterkin is 32.5. Given what we've seen, don't you think playing the over is the safe way to go there?
As Reichel and I have talked about before, I don't know about playing the over, but I definitely don't want any part of the under. So if I was going to play it, and, you know, Chesterkin's or as we say in an hour from now, just Erican. He is cashed this prop every game. Been over 32.5 every game.
Almost. He made 29 saves in game 2.
Okay, because I know he was over in game 1 because we had him.
Yep, he had 30. He had 37.
37 in game 1, right? So
and 49 in game 3.
So 76 and 29 is 105. So he's averaging 35 per game. So yeah, that's a hard play not to make right there.
Yeah, and going back to the last 2 games in the Carolina series, he's topped 37 and 37, and then he had 31 in game 5.
See, you can say, well, the Rangers need to do something to fix their defense. Maybe they'll get their defense fixed. Well, they haven't fucking fixed it yet. They haven't fixed it in 2 other series in the first 3 games of this one. So if you have some magic in your bag of tricks, I'm guessing they would have pulled it out by now. So
you would think so.
I would. Give me the Lightning in regulation. You take them on the puck line. Either way.
So to go back to the well that you used the other day, you're going to ride the Lightning?
Ride the Lightning. You're going to ride the Lightning, buddy. Just like the dude in the Green Mile.
Or Metallica.
Yeah, sure. There you go. I'm tired, boss. Tired, boss. Make some money, buddy.
You need some Jolt Cola.
That's good stuff.
It is.
Seems like
they used to make it in Rochester, which is where I went to college. So we would go to the Jolt factory on the weekends and get all the dented cans. You get a case for like 99 cents.
Oh my god!
Paid more for the deposit, on the cans than you did for the actual product itself.
I would have so been all over that. No question. It was Red Bull and 5 Hour before those things existed.
And then, for a while they made Jolt Bolt. Did you ever see that?
Jolt Bolt. I've had Bolt, yeah. The Mountain Dew knockoff.
No, Bolt. Like you.
Oh, that was Volt. That was Volt, wasn't it?
Yeah. Jolt Bolt had twice the caffeine of Jolt.
Fuck. No.
The cans were like this big. It's like those little cans you get in the 8-packs now.
Yeah, I don't need to fucking take my shirt off and see my heart beating. I don't fucking need to see my chest fucking. No, thank you very much.
Way to take all the fun out of life.
Yeah, that's me, a killjoy. 2 teamers, the Jays and the Sox.
Yeah, I'm going with the Sox here. Whitlock's facing our good buddy Reed Detmers. Unless they changed it again. As of this morning, it was supposed to be Detmers. But I can't back a team that's lost 12 in a row.
It really does make it a little difficult. We talked about Detmers, that he's literally the looking glass of pitchers this season. He's a one-hit wonder. Did you like that? Did you like that, Chris?
Yeah, he's Flock of Seagulls.
Flock of Seagulls had 2 songs, didn't they?
Yeah, I guess if you count Space Age Love Song.
Yeah, there you go. But Detmers, that's what I wanted to see. He was good last time. He broke the trend. He had been shitty in every start except his no-hitter, his near perfecto. But he did go 4 1/3 against the Yankees last time out. No earned. But however, if you look a little deeper, 5 hits, 3 walks. So you're still giving up 8 base runners in 4 1/3. If you wanted to whip that out, as it were, and do the math, that would not be good. That's still
somewhere around 1.8. Give or take.
Yep. That's still a very bad whip right there. So you could say he might have got a little lucky. Could have been good sequencing. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm still not ready to back Detmers here. And
to be fair, I put this one in because I looked at some of the other numbers. I'm like, well, I'm not going to put the Astros in there because then you're not going to make any money.
Fair enough. You got to give something to sweeten that pot just a little bit, because as it is, you're paying $1.60. But if you put the Astros in there at
you make like 69 cents.
240. Was it actually negative? I would have guessed it was right around the.
It was $100.69.
It was paid. I got you. It paid 169. Okay, 100.69. That's what I was going to say. I would have guessed around even money. So. I thought you were saying you had to lay 100 to win 69 cents. So.
Oh, no. But yeah, that's why I didn't put that in there. I didn't put the Giants over the Rockies in there because that's the same kind of number.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the Braves and the A's. I mean, I like all those teams, but you can't really mix them in there because then you don't.
No value.
Yeah, there's no value to it. So
No
I had
value.
to mix it up a little bit.
You want to
So
play?
take note that if you wanted to play any of those teams, feel free. I just wasn't going to put them on here to go have people go, well, look, I won 12 cents.
And this is just my opinion, but the run line's only paying 3.1. So for me, I don't even know if I'd fuck with it. I think I would probably just play the money line at this point. Guard against something stupid happening late, or
that's true too.
Angels at home, so they get that ninth at bat, and get a couple guys on, and get it within one. And now you're screwed. So
right, that's true. Okay,
Yankees over the Twins. Do we finally have a pitcher for the Twins yet?
It's supposed to be Cole Sands.
That's what I had. That's what I had yesterday. Is it become more official
now?
That's
what it was this morning. That's what it showed this morning.
Excellent.
And it's Jameson Tyone again, coming off another solid outing.
Indeed, it is
his last start.
Indeed,
he's been on a roll of late.
Are the Yankees the best team in baseball, Chris?
God, I hate to say it.
They have the best record, but are they the best team in baseball? Are they better than the? There's really only one other team you can ask about, and that's the Dodgers.
The Dodgers, I can't figure out right now.
Okay. I don't see
the Yankees. You've gotten some consistent play. They've got a deep rotation, and I guess that's the big question with the Dodgers right now is the team you're seeing right now isn't necessarily the team you're going to see in October because
right.
They don't have Kershaw, they don't have Price, or no, Price is there now, right? He's back in the bullpen.
Yes, I believe that is correct.
But I mean, they don't have a bunch of guys. They got Jimmy Nelson 3 years ago. Has he even thrown a pitch for them?
He's doing the same number as Danny Duffy has.
Yeah, but Duffy's due back at some point, right?
Sure. That's what they say. That's a pretty sweet gig, man, because they're like, all right, Danny, I got some good news and bad news. Now, the good news is we're going to get you out of Kansas City. You're going to go to L.A., and it's going to be beautiful. Bad news is you're not going to be able to pitch, but you are going to get to live on the beach and do nothing and make $6 million a year or whatever.
Going back to Seinfeld when you got George talking about Kramer, fantasy camp. His whole life is a fantasy camp.
That's very true.
He must be plunking down $2,000 a week to live like him.
So
do nothing, fall ass backwards into money.
So I asked if there's only one team that compares to him than the Dodgers. Am I wrong? Is there another team you'd put on the same stratosphere as the Yankees?
I'm sure Tim will tell you that the Mets should be up there, but the Mets are in a similar situation with the Dodgers. You don't know
when their pitching's coming back.
Yeah, because now Scherzer got bit by a dog. So there's that. I mean, the Mets could be good. They could wilt like a head of lettuce in the sun, like they did last year down the stretch.
All right.
You don't know what to expect.
And we talked about the Lightning ad nauseum about the deficiencies on the defensive side for the New York Rangers. Can Igor stand on his head for another game?
He can stand on his head, but it still might not be enough.
Right. He can get 48 saves and still lose. That's brutal. I
mean, look at the game. Look at the first game of the playoffs for Shesterkin. He made 70-some saves in that triple overtime game and lost.
Yep, exactly right. So there's your odds on that one. We're almost identical to the money line on the first play, 161 on 100. However, a little more value because of the hockey game there, because you've got $1.25 difference between the puck line and the money line. So you're getting a little juice there, a little 420 action on your $100. So that's your options right there with those 4 games. Very good, Chris. Let's move on, shall we?
All right. I saw somebody talking about Graham Ashcraft in the comments earlier. Boy, the Reds might have stumbled onto somebody that could pitch. Now, if only he can avoid what happened to Connor Overton, who pitched well in his first 4 starts and then went on the shelf.
Right.
But, they're facing the Diamondbacks. Arizona's throwing Tyler Gilbert. Not impressed.
Not to be confused with Logan Gilbert, because when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh, that should be a dead solid under." Wait a minute. That's not the Logan Gilbert team. That's Tyler Gilbert.
Yeah, Tyler Gilbert 0-2 with a 5.02 ERA, a 1.116 WHIP, 4 walks, 12 strikeouts. Here's the sad part, Scott. He's given up 5 homers and 14 in the 3rd innings, and you're playing in the Great American Ballpark.
Not good, Bob. Not good. It's also getting to be summerish time, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the old wind blowing out there towards the river. I don't know.
And Gilbert's FIP 684.
Not good. Not good at all.
He's giving up 3.1 homers per 9. I know it's a small sample size, but when you're giving up 3 homers per 9 innings, you got problems.
See how many home starts he's made. Well, he's only made 2 starts, and
and one was at home against the Dodgers, where he only gave up 1 homer. He gave up 4 in Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, at Dodger Stadium, gave up 6 earned in 5 2/3. That's not good.
Yeah, and 4 long balls.
I'd be tempted by the total here, but again, it could be a Kansas City situation where you don't know how much contribution you're going to get out of one of these teams.
Look at yesterday.
I'm fine. I'm fine with the Reds here. I just.
Total's 10.
Yeah, I'm not getting involved in that.
I don't blame you.
I'd lean under just because I don't think the Diamondbacks are going to give us much.
And Nathan just asked about Cal Quantrill for Cleveland. Guess what? There he is, right there in the second line, right there.
Yeah.
The game's going to start in about half an hour. The Guardians making up for last night's rainout. It's Quantrill and John Gray. Not to be confused with George Gray. Name you're familiar with, aren't you, Scott?
George Gray, the host of Weakest Link.
Yes.
Now, is that the same guy that's now
On The Price is Right?
On The Price is Right. Same George Gray, right?
Yes, it is.
He was a good dude. He was a stand-up comic. So
that's what I had heard.
Yep. So we talked to, this was the same matchup we talked about yesterday, right?
Right.
Yeah.
The nightcap is Hearn and Pilkington.
Yeah, that's where things can get weird. But this is actually, so it's everybody. It's the nightcap will be on their scheduled day, and the other guys have just got an extra day's rest. But it's the same matchups that were scheduled.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're basically just fading John Gray. Quantrell's been good.
Yeah, he's pitched well lately.
But I think this is mainly a fade of John Gray for me.
Yeah, and if Cleveland can score a couple of runs, it'd be nice because Quantrill doesn't necessarily get a ton of runs.
That's a great price. That's like finding shit at the dollar bin at Target. That's minus 115 is a great price right there. In a day where everything is $5 gas with all these games where everything's fucking expensive, here's your cheap one right here, buddy. Here's your electric vehicle.
Quantrill 6 quality starts in his last 7 outings.
That's good. That's good. I hear good things.
Last 3, he's allowed a total of 6 runs in 19 1/3. So he's got a 2.79 ERA in that stretch.
Solid.
4 walks, 13 strikeouts in 19 1/3. He came off a win against Kansas City in his last start. Pitched well against Houston before that.
Okay. Thanks for bringing something that meant something to that conversation. You beat the Royals. Woohoo! Jump on this, motherfucker.
You take the wins where you can get them.
No shit. That's no lie. And it's usually right down the end of that road right there. Okay.
I'm going to take the Rays over the Cardinals. Jeffrey Springs over Dakota Hudson. We've talked about Hudson being another one of those guys that's trying to learn how to be a starting pitcher, and it's a steep curve. And I don't like the Cardinals on the road. I mean, they struggled to take 3 of 5 from the Cubs, and the Cubs were pitching basically everybody short of the water boy in that series because Smiley and Wade Miley both on the IL, so they were down to a bunch of guys they called up from the minors. And, some of those guys still got wins. And then Milwaukee, I look to go over, team total over 4. They're not going to be as bad as they were against San Diego over the weekend. Ranger Suarez going for the Phillies.
Phillies bullpen going for the Phillies.
Yeah, that too.
Sorry, Rye. Sorry, buddy.
And the fact that the Phillies aren't even with scoring 26 or whatever runs they scored over the weekend, they still had to win in walk-off fashion on Sunday because they blew a lead and ended up winning 9-7. Guess what? I don't care if the Brewers end up with 7 or 9 if that's the final score because they're both over 4, and that's called math, kids.
There you go. There you go, buddy. It's a Brewers team that scores better at home than they do on the road. 4.8 at home versus 4.4 on the road. So you do get a little 10% bump there as far as that goes. I don't know, Chris. Every time I count on this Milwaukee offense to do something, they let me down.
Like I said, it is Ranger Suarez going against Art Vandelay.
Art Vandelay gets the start. Ranger Suarez has been awful lately, man. He has not been good, my friend. He gave up 2 and 4 1/3 his last time out. And that was the highlight of his last couple of weeks because he got
2 runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. He hasn't gone further than 4 1/3 in any of his last 3 starts.
Nope. Got hammered against the Dodgers, got hammered against Atlanta, and did okay against San Francisco in a game that they ultimately lost. He's on a 3-game losing streak. Yeah.
Interesting stat for you there too, Scott. The over 6-1 in Suarez's last 7 starts. If you were looking at the total in that game.
Okay. I got to be honest, buddy. Those last 2 picks, they could hit. I don't love either one of them.
That means they'll probably hit because Scott's terrible.
Lock it up. If you like the first 2 and you're like, wait a minute, the fat guy doesn't like these 2. Okay, fuck, I'm on it. I'm loading up on the 4-teamer. If you were to load up on the 4-teamer, $100 would get you 879, 8.8 to 1. And on the run line, because you know what, good teams win, great teams cover. 28 to 1, Chris. 28-10 on a hundo.
Oh, if you think that's big, wait till you see the number that comes up on this one.
Well,
you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right.
More than 1,000 to 1. Holy shit. Holy shit. It's another Kentucky Derby superfecta there, buddy.
Yeah, got a bunch of numbers in here. You know, I'm going to take the Dodgers over the White Sox. We're talking about teams, you know, the White Sox have just been terrible. They can't hit. And Mitch White's going for the Dodgers. Scott, your favorite Los Angeles fill-in. The only thing that's keeping the White Sox in this game is probably going to be Kopech because he's pitched pretty well.
Kid's good.
The question is, can the kid hold up against the Dodgers?
Well, apparently it's easy to make the transition from the bullpen to the starter if you were a starter to begin with.
This is true.
So they drafted him as a starter, put him in the pen, and then they're like, okay, it's time. So good for
it's time. It's Vader time.
Good for Kopech.
Yeah, I mean he's got some good stuff. I'm not going to take anything away from him. I just don't think the White Sox can put up enough runs.
Okay.
Then we've got the Padres and the Mets. I know a lot of people are excited about the Mets after yesterday's game. Here's the thing: this game's at Petco Park, and one thing, if you look at splits, Yu Darvish 2-2 with a 5.82 ERA on the road. At home, he's 2-1, a 1.71 ERA, an 0.68 WHIP, 5 walks, 25 strikeouts, and 26 1/3. He's given up just 13 hits, and opposing hitters have a 196 on base percentage against him there.
Yep. That's Darvish has been dominant there at Petco. No question about it, buddy. Because on the surface, this would appear to be a game that I normally wouldn't want to get involved with. 2 pretty evenly matched teams playing pretty good ball right now. But with Darvish at home, that's impossible to fade. So.
Yeah, I mean, Darvish did take a loss in his last home start, but he gave up 2 runs on 3 hits at 6 2/3 and a 2-1 loss to the Brewers.
Yeah, what are you going to do? There's that Brewers offense again.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Tigers over the Pirates. Scooball's pitching tonight, Scott.
My man.
Who's pitching against?
Somebody terrible.
The Q-Man.
Oh, who?
The Q-Man.
I don't know who that is.
Jose Quintana.
Oh, I'm thinking Johnny Cueto, even though I know his name starts with a C. I'm like, I don't know, man. Who is Q?
Yeah, Quintana, you know, he's still averaging 5 innings to start.
Okay.
His ERA is 2.32, but his FIP is 3.16. He's not missing a ton of bats. He struck out 41 and 50 1/3. But like you said, like we've talked about before, Scooball, you know, maybe he's learned how to pitch now.
Yeah.
Because we've talked before about how he gives up a ton of homers. He's given up 2 in 58 2/3 innings. Got a whip below 1. His ERA is 2.15. His FIP is 2.01.
Good. It means that he has been pretty much pitching right where he should be. You know, I still can't put Quintana on the Pirates. You know, if you ask me like who does Quintana pitch for, I would really have to think about it. Like, oh yeah, Pirates. So,
And here's one more stat for you, Scott, about Scooball. Last 5 starts, he is 3-0. His ERA is 0.84.
Yep.
Opposing teams hitting 157.
I've been preaching about him for a long time, but we've been talking about it on the show for his last 3 starts. So hopefully you guys have been able to ride him.
Yeah, he's got 4 scoreless outings in his last 5 starts. He gave 3 runs on 5 hits and 7 innings to Cleveland in a 4-3 win, May 26th.
Outstanding.
He's coming off 7 shutout innings against the Twins.
You don't usually have to give me a reason to fade the Pirates. If you put Scooball on the mound at a decent price. Yeah, Quintana's been decent, but I'm all in on Scooball right now.
Marlowe, I like the Cubs against the Orioles. I just didn't put them up here because, there's only so many spaces. And apparently, from what Scott was saying in the pre-show when we were talking about stuff, apparently Joan Adon is pitching for the Nationals. When I was looking earlier, they were still saying it was Evan Lee. If it's Adon, you definitely have to fade Washington.
Got to do it.
Even if it wasn't, you probably have to fade Washington anyway.
Yeah. Did you say you only had so much space? So wait a minute. You give out 14. You give out 18 picks a day. You couldn't squeeze it in there.
Well, no, because I like to mix in some player stuff too.
I'm just fucking with you, dude. I don't care. Tell me about Keegan Thompson and the fact that he left Saturday Night Live. Apparently.
Yeah, well, he's 6-0, so I mean, I guess you can leave Saturday Night Live when you pitch that well.
It's been good.
38 strikeouts and 45 and a third. He's coming off a win over St. Louis in his last outing. He's won his last 4 appearances. I think he'll go over 3.5 strikeouts. Baltimore, a bit of a free swinging team, as we've noticed.
So you're going to fade Ranger Suarez as a pitcher, but you think he's going to get some strikeouts.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to last 4 or 5 innings, but Milwaukee, they're supposed to get some guys back. Hunter Renfroe is supposed to be back, but we know that he's pretty good at generating wind energy. And Milwaukee's, like you said, they've had their issues at times, but the Phillies bullpen is going to be there, so I mean, it all works out.
Very true. And you got the under in this one. The only reason they didn't go under in the first one because I was on it. I gave out the rare hockey play, and of course it was destined to fail. So the last.
That's right, Bronco. What's up with that?
What's up with Bronco is now he's going to go down the Bronco is the one that went down the 1910 Fruit Gum Company rabbit hole. Yummy, yummy, yummy. I gotta love it. Anyway, there was another band that did something like that. They were called the Ohio something, not the Ohio Players, but something about a railroad, and I can't think what the fuck it was. But anyway.
The Ohio Railroad.
No, not the Ohio Railroad. All right, we got to roll. Stamkos over 3.5 shots plus money.
Yeah, so is Kucherov.
Plus money, beautiful.
Lightning win a regulation. I don't know if you saw it at a different number than I had.
Nope, that's the same one I got.
And Kreider over 2.5 shots. The Rangers, they're going to have to be more involved offensively. They can't just sit back
and as you mentioned, pretty good payout here, $96,000 on $100 at 960 to 1. If you wanted to juice it up, say, you know what, I like to crank my difficulty level up to a maximum on a 10
all the way to 11
on a 10-team parlay. You can do that, and if you were to do that, it would pay you $23.90 on $1, $2,090 on $1. Or if you wanted to jump it to $100, how about $250,000, Chris? $239,644.
And if you do that, make sure you send some to me because
I would.
You can donate to the Me Foundation because that way I can get better stuff.
If somebody gave me a 10-teamer and I won $240,000, yeah, there's a $50 bill with your name on it, buddy. All right, kids, that's gonna do it for the show. Any final thoughts, Chris?
At least we have more games to talk about today than we did yesterday because yesterday was incredibly boring, especially after Texas and Cleveland got rained out.
There you go. That's it, guys. Stay tuned. If you got the afternoon off, if the boss is in a big meeting, you can hang out for another hour. We'd appreciate it. Join us on the other side as Scott and I go back to the window. But if you can't, we understand. People got shit to do. We'll see you here bright and early tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. Chris and I, we're going to wander, but eventually we're going to come back and talk about
just parlays.
There you go. We'll see you then, guys. Take care.